What's up? I need water. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video is basically me sharing my TBR list, my to be read list. I'm really excited because I have some really exciting books that I've been meaning to read, and I figured I'd share them with you since we are here. All I'm doing during this quarantine is really just reading, so might as well share my TBR list with you. Let's get right into it. So the first couple of books that I'm going to be sharing with you are books that I've already started, but they still are on my list. Some of them are books that I started and then I kind of like put down for some time. And yeah, so we're going to get right into that first. The first book is How the Pro-Choice Movement Saved America, Freedom, Politics, and the War on Sex by Christina Page. This is more just like an informational book about like contraceptives and like sex education basically, and obviously the pro-choice movement. I really want to expand my knowledge on these topics like this, and this seemed like a good book to read. It's a bit outdated though from what I've read from it. Yeah, like this book was published like over 10 years ago, so it's a bit outdated, but still a lot of the information in this book is still relevant, and the arguments that the author makes, or just the points that the author makes, are still like very relevant to today's day and age. I wanted to be more educated on topics like this, so that's why I picked this one up. And I'm looking to get back into reading this because I started this several months ago, like probably I would say back in August of last year I started this book, and I got 40 pages in, so not that far. This book is going to take a little time for me to get through because I was like taking notes and like highlighting things, which I don't normally do in my books. I don't normally like doing that to my books, but this one I felt it's almost like a textbook. That's like where my mind was at. I was like, it's like a textbook, so it's okay that I'm like highlighting it. This is the first book that I am planning on reading or getting back into reading. The second book is actually a book that I've been meaning to read, and admittedly I started this a couple days ago and I'm like halfway through it, but I wanted to share anyways. It's The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert, and can we just admire this cover, the cover jacket? It is gorgeous. It's all gold and silver on black. Oh, a masterpiece. This is a novel that follows Alice Proserpine. She's the granddaughter of some not necessarily very well known, but she has a cult following. Anyways, she's the daughter or the granddaughter of author Althea Proserpine, who wrote a book of like fairy tales. The reason why she's not very well known is because she only released like one set of prints of the book, and then since then none of the books like can be found really. Like it's really hard for someone to find this book, which is strange because if they're in print then you should be able to find them online or something like that, but no, you can't find this book anywhere. If you go to like old bookstores you can't find it. But anyways, so the story follows Alice, and she moves around a lot with her mom. It's just her and her mom. They move around a lot because they have bad luck following them everywhere they go. But one day the grandma Althea dies, and Alice's mom, her name is like Ella, short for Vanilla, which was like kind of vanilla, like okay. They decide after the grandma has died to stop moving around and to finally settle down. And when they finally settle down, that's where things go a bit awry. Alice's mom is kidnapped and taken to the place called the Hazelwood, which is actually the residence of the grandmother Althea, where Alice's mom Ella lived like most of her life. And so the Hazelwood is notorious for being like hidden in the woods. Like you can't find the estate at all. You have to know the address in order to be able to get there. When Alice's mom disappears, she leaves a note saying, "Don't go to the Hazelwood," which is like, okay, if you leave a note like that, then obviously I want to go to the Hazelwood. But so as Alice tries to find her mother, she realizes that the fairy tales that her grandmother wrote about aren't exactly fairy tales. That's where the story leads. It's such an interesting read. I don't normally read fantasy books like this, but this is definitely a must read for me. It's such an intriguing story, and although Alice is she's got that like teenage angst going on, she's still a pretty enjoyable character, and I can't wait to see what happens. It's so exciting. The next book I have that is on my TBR list, that admittedly I did start a couple days ago, is Becoming by Michelle Obama. I have heard raving reviews about this book. Everybody that I've talked to who has read this book or has heard about this book has said that it's a wonderful book, or they've heard that it's a wonderful book, you know, etc. I started this a couple days ago. I read like the preface and the first chapter, so I'm barely dipping my toes into this book. But I love Michelle Obama, and I want to know more about our former First Lady. She has, from what I heard, a very interesting life. So I'm thrilled to be reading this and get further into this book. So the next book I have to share with you guys is, I believe, a very well-known book in the book community, booktube, whatever you want to call it. It's called Eleanor Park by Rainbow Rowell. I know Rainbow Rowell is a very popular author. I've heard of a couple of their other books. Admittedly, I've never looked into them or read any of their books. So my sister actually owns this, and I asked her if I could borrow it because this is on my TBR list. So I'm hoping to read it in the next couple weeks. It's about these two 16-year-olds who are like star-crossed lovers. Like, I guess one is like quirky, one is like a jock or something. I'm not sure. I don't really know much about this book, but it's like a love story and it's cute, and I need something cute and wholesome, all right, in these trying times. I just want something cute and wholesome. So this is on my list, and this is hopefully next up to read once I finish those other 3 books. That's the game plan. Next is this book that my dad actually recommended to me. I'm actually very interested in reading it. It's 1,000 Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. I admittedly don't know much about this book. My dad just said that it's about these Afghanistan women who are like living during the time of the Taliban, something along those lines. And on the back it doesn't have a synopsis, it just has like reviews. So I'm very interested to read this book. It also says on the cover, a novel by the author of The Kite Runner, which I know the Kite Runner was turned into a movie. So I'm interested to see what this story has for me. Okay, we're getting to the last 2 books. It's a short list just because these are definitely on the top of my TBR list. I could go on and on about books I want to read, blah blah blah, books that I haven't touched yet, blah blah blah, but these are on the top of my list. So the next 2 are from the same series, but I'm going to go one by one. This book is very exciting to me. It's not a new book by any means. It's just a new edition, so I figure I might as well just reread it. So this is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, but this is the illustrated version. I got this for Christmas, and oh, it's just gorgeous. I am in love with the illustrated versions. I want all of them, but I only have the first one so far. So I figured since I have this, I might as well reread it and possibly reread the rest of the series. It depends how I'm feeling. But I'm definitely going to reread this book because it's a classic. Like, it never gets old. You know what I mean? So this is purely on my list just because I want to go through all the pages and like look at the illustrations and like see how pretty it is. So yeah. And the next book that I have, it's a book I've been putting off for so long just because of multiple reasons. And I think if you know anything about the Harry Potter series, you will know what I mean. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, Part 1 and 2. This is a very controversial book in the fandom, book community, whichever one. Yeah, so that's why I've been putting this one off, because I heard that people did not like Harry Potter in this book, and they think that this can't be like canon. Like, it can't be, you know? Like, the way he treats his son is not how people were picturing adult Harry to be treating his son. Other than that, and that controversy, all the controversy behind this book, I don't really know much else about it. I just know it's about like the children. I don't really know the plot of it, which I guess is good. So I just want to read through this and form my own opinions about it, because I know it was a very polarizing topic. So yeah, this is my last book on my TBR list. These are all of the books on my TBR list. I hope you enjoyed. Maybe it gave you like recommendations for books you should read. Let me know in the comments below any recommendations you have for books I should read, maybe. I don't know. If any books popped into your head while you were watching this video, let me know in the comments. I'm always looking for other books to read, or post your TBR list in the comments down below. Besides that, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. I post plant videos, makeup videos sometimes, book videos, I don't know, just anything that comes to my mind. So yeah, subscribe and like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.